I want to thank you all for coming. The support I've gotten from all of you over the years has been fantastic, and it's one of the reasons I'm able to do this. As you know, I've been looking after my father's paintings for a number of years, 30 or 40 years to be exact. And now that there is a renaissance in African American art, things are really getting more hopeful about getting my father's body of work recognized. Now that the glass ceiling has been broken by Kerry James Marshall and Puff Daddy, there's every reason to hope for a stronger playing field with respect to getting people to notice who Ralph Chassé is. This is a real interesting painting. I've known about it for many, many years. And Susan Elwood was the daughter of Jerry Elwood, who plays this character here, who was also a stage designer along with my father and an actor. And they worked together in the Wayfarer Civic Repertory group, which was formed in 1930 and was in existence up through the 50s. Now, the Wayfarer's Repertory Theater is important because it was started and played through the height of the WPA Federal Theater Project and on into the 50s, led by its director, Jack Thomas, with whom my father and Jerry Elwood, also an actor and designer, worked with him for many years. This painting from his large body of work itself is by far the most autobiographical of his paintings. Its importance lies in the fact that it not only points out to how visionary the Federal Theater Project was in general, but it's a shining example of why the WPA was the single most important public art experiment in the cultural history of the United States. It was also responsible for the development of community theater throughout the country. And as for my father personally, in it he has given an homage to the theater and to the people who work so unselfishly in it because of their pure love of being actors and the collaborative art form that it is. And I think this painting really reflects that, and this is why I have a great emotional attachment to it. Now, this painting, this whole celebration is a send-off for this painting, which is going to be sent to London and put into the arms of Simon Callow, a very distinguished British actor. Now, I'll give you a little background on him. He's written a 4-volume biography of Orson Welles. Orson Welles being someone who my father was obsessed with. And he's the most knowledgeable man of letters I know with respect to the WPA. And for me personally, someone who I can entrust this painting to with the knowledge that he will care for it as tenderly as Susan Elwood and I do. I know that once this painting graces the walls of your walls, Simon, this painting will become a centerpiece of attention for all of you and all who visit you. Now, my rationale for wanting this painting to end up in London is an easy one. My father had many obsessions in his lifetime. Theater, Edward Gordon Craig, Shakespeare, Emperor Jones, art and theater, and Hamlet, all of which allowed him to be a reflecting man of action and not to be. Experiencing how Negroes were treated in the South was something which he knew he could never live through, where he identified as one. Now to my conclusion. My father wrote in some papers he left behind that only man leaves behind a creative effort in concrete form that outlasts his own lifespan, his art. Only man's art can tell us how he looked, how he felt, how he lived. An emotion takes on a definite form in a painting, a piece of sculpture, or a work of architecture. It becomes the visible soul of man. In placing this painting in your hands, Simon, I know that my father's soul is reflected through his art and will in my lifetime be seen by a diversity of people who can recognize what he was striving for all his life, and hopefully it will do more than that. Only time can determine that, and I know what I am, and I know that it is possibly, just thinking about this would have been beyond his wildest dream, and that he and Jeriel would be very honored to have this hanging in your house. Now, I think I will conclude this with a tribute to you in a British fashion, my dear Simon. Would you all rise and give 3 cheers to Simon Callow?
Right.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Hip, hip, hooray!
May you enjoy this painting, and it bring you as much pleasure as it brought me. Oh, wait, come back. Wait, hold it. Don't conclude.
Hi.
This is John Goodwin, who is probably the greatest support that I have in terms of my father's painting, and he's helping me to accomplish what I have always dreamed of over these many years. And it's a personal thank you to you.
Yes, and
Okay.
I'm sorry I'm late.
And I also want to thank Harvey and Steve Maker, who have been my conservators over the years, many, many years. And it's their love of Ralph's art that buoys me up at all times. Can we get a picture of you and Harvey in here, Steve? No, they don't want to be seen. Well, if you happen to come to Portland, Simon, go to the Cultured Pearl, 1110 Northwest Flanders, Portland, Oregon. Thank you. Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherits shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep